have a special treat. I am welcoming my talented daughter.
Hi.
My guest today is Sophie, the artist behind Spire Arts on Instagram and YouTube. She is an illustrator working in both traditional and digital media. Sophie considers herself mostly a fan artist, an artist who creates work based on popular works of fiction. She also designs her own characters and is presently hard at work creating an original manga comic book. What's your opinion of collage?
I'll be real honest. I'm a hater on those basic collage people that just cut out forks, cut out trees, and put them together. I don't like what you're making.
So you don't like if they cut out a fork and stick it on, and then they say the artwork's called the fork?
Yes! And say, sell that for $1 million, I'm famous. Like, no. No.
You came to me with this project.
Yeah.
You don't do collage.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
I was inspired. I just saw something about the Joker movie that's coming out, and I decided to make some early fan art. And I started with this one, and I loved it, but then I moved on to the top part of the page, and I just completely lost what I was trying to do. It looks messy. It looks like a toddler colored it in. It just doesn't look right. So collage is taking already made media or whatever you use and creating its own thing. So I was like, oh, that's kind of like the character. She's taken parts of him, his personality, and put it into herself. She kind of is inspired by him. So I think collage would work with this.
I suggest, because this is very small, that you would be a good candidate for my little scrap. Oh, that's where my scissors are. So this is some of my scrap papers by color. So you'll probably find what you need for that there. I took out a bunch of different scissors, a bunch of different glues. There's glue stick. This is Mod Podge paper.
Yes, I'll be using that.
I have my Barely Art craft glue. So you can use what you want. This is my collage sketchbook, one of them. They're made by Ranger Art Supplies. I sort of maybe just gonna watch you go.
Watch me go? Okay.
Let's watch you go.
Let me look at you.
What are we looking at here? What are you trying to find? Colors?
Words.
Oh, words.
You know what'd be better? Newspaper. Do we have newspaper?
Oh, those are good colors.
The thing with me is I haven't
good colors for you.
Is that I haven't watched it in a
Me too, I'll take them.
Is that I haven't watched it in a while.
Yes?
But when I did watch it, I think I watched it like 6 times.
How about nuclear waste?
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Because you know how she gets dunked in acid or something?
Oh, does she?
Yeah, some lore. I don't know. I should read the comics to get inspired by that art style.
Is she a superhero?
No,
what's
she's
her
a villain.
name? Harley Quinn? I mean,
she has no power or anything.
She has no powers.
No.
Do villains have powers?
Yeah, of course they do.
Yes. Come on, Lisa. I've seen
You sound like you've never came out of your house before. Like this was in your time when comics were popular.
I didn't read them.
Clearly. I think that's quite obvious.
Oh.
All of this will be good. Any words? Is it in French? Okay. I think I got the materials for that.
Okay, sir, what's your approach?
I'm gonna start with using the words and stuff because I don't want it to be like the super main focus. I want it to be covered by the other colors. So I'm gonna make it her base of her skin tone. I'll add a little bit in her hair for the more bold.
You're putting the words in her face?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
That's what I plan.
So that's like the light color of her skin?
Yeah.
Is the background? Oh, wow. Very interesting. I'm just going to go to my usuals. Little shapes. If you don't know what to do, make some shapes. Just make shapes. Look at that. That's a beautiful little thing.
I'm going to add this over top. I gotta remember, bold text is for the top.
If you're going to put all this work into your collage, use a glue that's not going to come unstuck. I have not tested that glue, but I know these Elmer's ones, if you use enough, Elmer's and Pritt, they will stay stuck. And in fact, she's the one who taught me this. Miss, I don't even do collage. You have to use a lot of glue.
Yeah.
And make sure it touches everywhere. And when we're done, we can spray it with like a varnish, which will maybe stick it out a little better.
How long does it take for you to make an artwork, a collage?
Too long. It depends. This whole page, it would probably take me about an hour, up to an hour and a half. It depends on the size and if I know what I'm doing, and it depends how detailed I want it to. How long does it take you to do a sketch?
A sketch? I do gesture drawings that you get a time, like your time scope is 30 seconds or 10 or 60. So you just learn to do things fast and look at things in a bigger picture and notice the shapes and not go into the little gritty details.
I'm really enjoying this newspaper. Not the newspaper, but just the picture on it. I don't like that it's newspaper because it's so hard to glue.
Yes. Why do teachers give you this in school?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not an easy medium.
Look at that. It's a perfect
It's
cheekbone.
like, do not use newspaper if you're new to collage. Well, you can, but
you can use
brace
it,
yourself.
but it's hard to work with.
Yeah. Look at this. I mean, come on. I'll never get in a spiral again.
Ah! Oh, that hurts.
I know.
I did a spiral artwork with newspaper, and it was the most torturous thing. I only got an 80. I was very disappointed because I always get 100s. It was an 85. I'm gonna be real honest.
Do you have the artwork still that we can show?
It was so horrible. Plot twist. Yep. I threw it out. Okay. But I have a collage from the previous year, my introduction to collage.
Wow. Let's show this.
If anyone wants to know my experience in collage, this is the only thing. So we just had to take pieces from magazines and make it look like a person or whatever you wanted it to be. Resembles a person. So that's what I did. I look at it now and I hate it because perspective-wise, I did not realize it then, but glasses do not work like this. It should just be an oval here.
Right.
So I'm very annoyed at why.
Well, she's wearing those cool wraparound sunglasses, although
they're goggles. But everything else, I think I did a good job. I like the lips. The little vases there, the vases, whatever.
So you're like basically a collage professional.
I don't know if
You're like, that's the only thing I've ever done in collage, like, since elementary school. Like, that's pretty amazing.
Thank you. Well, I think if you already have artistic skill under your belt, it's easier to do or get introduced to other mediums.
Now, what advice would you give to the person who is watching this, who has no art background? Do you think they could still like collage?
I don't know. You can still like it. It's going to be harder for you. I think you're going to have to take a lot of inspiration from other people.
Yeah?
It depends on what you're doing, though. If you're doing something like what I'm doing, it'll be hard. It'll be easier than drawing someone because it doesn't have to be exact. But if you're doing something like my mom or the basic collage people. She's not basic, I'll tell you that right now. Actually, yours is really hard too. But if you're being like cutting out a branch and then putting it beside a spoon that you cut out in a tree, it's like, okay, you need no skill for that. If you put in the work, it's easy to make it look good, like what you do.
If you follow a few principles, even like, I don't want to say elements of art because people are like, oh, the elements of art, boring.
It's the most important thing ever, though. But they never explain it well.
Do you think it's because they don't teach it well? People are like,
they don't explain how you use it. They don't like show like good portrayals of how people use those elements. Yeah, good examples. They don't explain.
Well,
just say this is used for that. Or, contrast is a big one. The shapes I blocked in and how easy it is. Like, look at that. This is just triangle. This is just marker I drew. Like, there's no crazy detail in this.
It's just shapes.
Yeah, it's just shapes. But if you look at it from like a farther away, it's like, oh, you can see it. It's like, oh, there's a whole thing going on.
Yeah, I don't even notice the shapes.
You're like, look, triangle there, triangle there. This whole thing is consisted of triangles if you look closely. Look at that. Look at that. Triangle there. That's a whole video that a YouTuber I love made. It's like, everything's made out of triangles.
Okay.
You should use triangles in
What
your
about
work.
mine? I have
Yours
a single triangle. Everything's made out of...
Well, unless your name's Colorful Collage, whatever your thing's called. This is looking really cursed. She's got tomato eyes right now.
Are you going to do any drawing on there to finish it up? Or are you going to do the full thing collage?
No, I'm going to do some drawing for sure. I can't handle it.
Can't handle it, eh?
Can't handle it, man.
Can't handle pure collage.
That's the difference between me and you, camera people watching right now. I gotta draw on it. Might I say. Actually, I'm not gonna say that.
Make it good.
I think I'll be causing too much of a stir in the comments.
As you roast me?
I'm not roasting you. I'm roasting them.
You're doing a persona here.
My persona's...
I know.
I love that for me.
You're being so mean, but you're not actually like this.
I'm not like this, but...
In real life, you're very nice.
Yeah.
It's day 2.
Yeah.
We're back again. We were talking a little bit yesterday about contrast is an important element of art. And as I was looking through the footage of your collage compared to mine, yours really pops. Like it's very high contrast. And mine looks all dull. Like it's all the same value on those paint chips when you're painting your house that go from dark at the bottom to light at the top. And if you take a couple, line them up, like straight, if you pick paint that's all on the same level across, they'll all have the same value. They all have the same amount of white in them. So that's sort of what there's nothing dark. Even this I picked out for my dark color, and it's not dark.
No.
It's not dark at all. It looked dark when it was on its own, but when you put it here, it just sort of blends into the background.
Yeah.
So my next one is going to be, it's got to pop.
Yeah. A way to combat that is by taking a picture of your artwork and putting it in black and white so you can truly see where your values are. Yeah. If you notice here, my main focus is obviously wants to be the faces, so there's a lot more light colors than dark because I don't want this, too much of this to be the focus. But then again, the white frames everything too, so it just brings your eye to the subject.
Can you explain a little bit your process? Because it's starting to really look like a face.
I usually start by blocking out shadows because that really, contours the face. It really makes it look human. So as you can see, I did start with
the shadow beside her nose,
the nose, and the cheekbone. And I'm also slowly building in highlights like this yellow, like at the tip of her nose. I'm gonna add green and yellow on the side of her face too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here where it's the newspaper is where it's the lightest, or the yellow here is the lightest?
I'm working on that. I feel like the yellow's too dark. I mean, this kind of enters the shadow with the eyes, so this is fine. I gotta make it more clear where the highlights are.
Okay, so for making a face, for doing what you're doing right now, you are mainly paying attention to not so much the color, but more the value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to stay in the color scheme, of course, but that's not my main focus.
And then the color is like a color palette that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so interesting. So it doesn't have to match it doesn't have to match her real skin tones.
No, not at all.
It's choosing whatever colors you want, and within those colors, picking out the different values to bring out the different
shapes of the face.
The shapes of the face and how the light hits differently on the face. Oh, that's fascinating.
Thank you.
And you're doing all of it by ripping, or are you cutting some of it?
Most of it's by ripping because I like the look of that. But for really precise pieces, I have to do cutting. Like at the bottom here, I added a lipstick, so I had to make it more precise to make it clear that what it was. And I also have to go around the hand and everything. But mostly it's just ripping. I like how it looks.
Last night I left my glue out without the cap on. Leaving your glue stick cap off is a rookie mistake that I do almost every single time I use a glue stick.
Oh my god.
Glue stick caps are really hard to find on the ground. Oh, there it is. This is where I have my full pieces of paper.
Oh, good.
I did a video on this, on how I arrange my papers. And these are the envelopes I store them in. So this is with all the black paper. I love organizing everything by color.
Oh, I love it.
There's nothing like it. It's highly recommend. Sometimes I take a piece that I've already cut from another project, like this one that's got holes, and And I'll just lay it down and be like, hey, does this look good? If I just like stick that on there, and sometimes it does.
Holy sh! I actually kind of like this. It's not my favorite thing I've ever done because I'm just...
Because it's collage.
Yeah, I just don't like the look of it.
Okay.
It's cool for like someone else. Like if I saw someone else make this, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. But it's just not my thing, you know? But it's fun to try it out.
Do you do that a lot? Like work in different mediums?
Yeah, I've used quite a few mediums, but I just usually don't stick with them. It's just I found the mediums I like. Oh, my fingers are getting sticky and I'm being really precise with things now. Yes.
Here. Tweezers. You gotta have the tweezers. I use tweezers even when I'm working on big pieces. When I'm gluing them, so I don't get glue on my fingers as much. I still get glue on my fingers. I'm working on balance. So I have this dark blue here on this side. And I want to balance it out with something over on this side.
See, I'm done mentally with this.
What do you think? What are your thoughts? Are you happy?
No. It was cool though, trying collage, because I'll post this. This will just be a different slide. It won't be the main focus.
You will post this on your Instagram?
Yeah, why not?
Thank you so much
Of
for
course.
being my first guest.
Yeah, what an honor.
On the Collage channel here.
Thanks for having me. If you learn something, then you have to pay the fee.
Which is?
A like or a subscribe. So. Sorry,
Nice.
man, that's how the class works. Bye.
Bye.